Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be looking at The Last Dragon
Oh, yeah.
from 1985.
I love that movie.
And we've got our handy-dandy podcast outline here to guide us along
Awesome.
as we explore this movie. So this film, it's more than just a martial arts movie.
Oh, it's so much more.
It's this really interesting blend of action and music.
Yeah,
And there's a message of self-discovery in there too.
definitely.
And all these elements combined, they make it a cult classic. So to really appreciate The Last Dragon, we need to set the stage.
Okay.
It's 1985,
Big hair,
thick shoulder pads,
leg warmers.
neon colors,
Yeah.
and a post-Bruce Lee world
Yeah.
that's just hungry for martial arts action.
Absolutely.
Also, it's they're right in the middle of the Reagan era. And Motown,
Yeah.
the legendary record label,
Yes.
they're taking a leap into filmmaking.
Really interesting time.
It really is a fascinating
All
thing.
these pop culture things
Yeah.
colliding,
Yeah.
and The Last Dragon just captures it perfectly.
Yeah, it does.
Like, it wasn't just a martial arts film,
Yeah.
it was a Motown production, which meant that the music was part of the movie,
Yeah.
woven into it.
It wasn't just background noise.
Right.
And speaking of Motown,
Yeah.
Berry Gordy, the founder himself,
Wow.
was behind this project. I mean, talk about a recipe for something unique.
Yeah.
You've got this blend of martial arts
Yeah.
and Motown's musical legacy. It just gives the film this flavor that we hadn't really seen before.
For sure.
And we can't forget the director, Michael Schultz,
Oh, yeah.
who really had this vision
Mm-hmm.
for blending these elements together. He took a relatively unknown martial artist, Timac,
Okay.
and cast him as Bruce Leroy, our hero,
Yeah.
on this quest for the glow,
Oh, yeah, the glow.
this mystical force
Yeah.
that represents enlightenment and true mastery. Timac is Bruce Leroy.
Now, there's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Right.
Brings back memories.
Yeah. But of course, no hero's journey is complete
Yeah.
without a formidable opponent.
True.
And boy, did The Last Dragon deliver on that front.
Yeah.
With Julius Carry as Sho'Nuff, the self-proclaimed shogun of Harlem.
Sho'Nuff, one of the most quotable villains ever.
He is.
Yeah.
He was menacing.
Oh, yeah.
He was flamboyant.
Uh-huh.
He was hilarious.
Yes.
He brought this over-the-top swagger that just stole every scene he was in. It's true, he had this undeniable charisma. But here's what I find interesting.
Okay.
You've got Bruce Leroy, who's seeking this internal power, this glow.
Yeah.
And then you've got Sho'Nuff, who's all about external display of dominance.
Oh, interesting.
It's like these two sides of the same coin, these two approaches to power just clashing head on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You've hit on something there. It's not just about, fancy kicks and punches.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah, this movie has this underlying thematic depth
Mm-hmm.
that's exploring different concepts of power and self-discovery.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why it resonates with audiences. It goes beyond just the surface level entertainment.
Definitely.
Totally. And this contrast between Bruce Leroy and Sho'Nuff,
Yeah.
it plays out in some incredibly memorable scenes.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, who can forget Sho'Nuff? Bursting into that movie theater,
Yes.
resplendent in his red suit and bellowing, "Who's the master?"
Oh, iconic.
That scene is iconic. It just perfectly encapsulates Sho'Nuff's personality,
Yeah.
his need to assert dominance,
Right.
and his, let's say, unique sense of style.
Oh, yeah.
It's pure 80s cheese,
But it's so good.
but it's so much fun. And then, of course, there's the visual spectacle of the glow itself
Yeah.
in the final showdown.
That was groundbreaking for its time, the
Yeah.
martial arts
Yeah.
and the visual effects.
This blend of martial arts action
Yeah.
and almost supernatural visual effects.
Yeah, and I think that's why people still love it.
It wasn't just a fight.
Right.
It was this visual representation of Bruce Leroy's inner journey, his transformation. And that brings us to an interesting point.
Okay.
The film actually received kind of mixed reviews
Really?
from critics when it was released.
Yeah.
Some people found it too cheesy, too over the top.
Wow.
But guess what? It resonated with audiences.
Yeah.
And over time,
Yeah.
it's become a bona fide cult classic.
Yeah. I love that about this movie.
Yeah.
It dared to be different.
Exactly.
It didn't fit in a box, and that's why it's still around.
It was this unique blend of action and music and humor,
Mm-hmm.
all wrapped up in this vibrant 80s package. And to think, it all started with a simple podcast episode outline. Now, before we dive into the legacy of The Last Dragon,
Okay.
and trust me, there's a lot to unpack there, let's take a quick look at one particular element that added another layer to the film's cultural significance.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this. It's not just the martial arts, the music, or the villains. It's how The Last Dragon celebrated Black culture
You got it.
in a genre that wasn't exactly known for diversity.
Yeah.
At the time,
Exactly.
yeah, it was a bold move, casting a predominantly Black cast in a martial arts film
Right.
and setting it in Harlem.
Right?
Gave the film a unique identity and opened up the genre to a whole new audience.
And they didn't shy away from showcasing elements of Black culture either.
Oh, absolutely.
From the music.
Yeah.
With a killer soundtrack. I mean, you've got DeBarge,
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder, to the fashion, and even the language. It was a celebration of Blackness.
Yeah.
In a way that we hadn't really seen before in a martial arts movie.
Yeah, it's true. It's important to remember the context. This is 1985.
Yeah.
Representation in Hollywood was, well, lacking.
Yeah, to put it mildly. So for a film like The Last Dragon to come along and just center Black characters and Black culture, I mean, it was a big deal.
It was groundbreaking.
It was.
It paved the way for others.
Yeah.
Think about Black Dynamite,
Oh, yeah?
Kung Fu Hustle.
Uh-huh.
Both of those paid homage to The Last Dragon. And that blend of action and humor and cultural awareness.
Absolutely.
The Last Dragon wasn't just entertaining, it was influential.
It challenged the conventions of the genre. It broadened the scope of what a martial arts film could be. It's like it said, hey, Black stories matter. Black culture matters. We can be heroes too.
Absolutely.
And it did all of that while still being a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, it did.
But it's not just the representation or the cultural impact that makes The Last Dragon a cult classic. There's also the undeniable charisma of his characters.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Especially Sho'Nuff, who's become like a pop culture icon in his own right.
Oh, absolutely.
Sho'Nuff is the gift that keeps on giving his over-the-top personality, his swagger, his quotable lines.
Oh, yeah.
He's become a blueprint for charismatic villains. I mean, in movies, in TV shows, ever since.
Oh, for sure.
You see shades of Sho'Nuff in characters like Dr. Evil on Austin Powers, or even Tyler Durden from Fight Club.
Interesting.
These larger-than-life personalities who just command attention, even if you're not quite sure if you should love them or hate them.
Yeah, that's the brilliance of Sho'Nuff. He was menacing, but he was also hilarious.
He was both.
You couldn't help but be entertained. Even when he was being a jerk.
It's true.
He embraced that absurdity, and that's what made him so memorable.
He knew how to make an entrance, that's for sure. Now, while Sho'Nuff steals the show, every time he's on screen, we can't forget about Bruce Leroy.
Oh, yeah, Bruce Leroy.
And his journey of self-discovery. I mean, the whole idea of seeking the glow. It's not your typical martial arts quest.
It's deeper than that.
It is.
It's not just learning how to fight. It's about finding your inner strength, your inner light.
I think that resonated with audiences.
Yeah.
Especially in the context of the 1980s, which was all about self-improvement and personal growth. It's like The Last Dragon tapped into this cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah.
This desire for self-actualization. It took the traditional martial arts narrative and infused it with this message of empowerment that went beyond just physical prowess.
Precisely.
And it presented that message in a way that was both entertaining and accessible.
It wasn't preachy.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was action-packed. It appealed to everyone.
Speaking of fun, our source material has some fascinating trivia.
Oh, I love trivia.
About the making of The Last Dragon that I think our listener might find interesting.
All right, let's hear it.
Did you know that the film's working title was actually the Sho'Nuff Saga? Can you imagine that?
Wow. That's amazing.
It makes sense, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Sho'Nuff is such a dominant presence in the film. It's easy to see why they considered making him like the central figure.
It really is.
It's a testament to Julius Carry's performance.
Yeah.
And here's another fun fact.
Okay.
Sho'Nuff utters his famous line, "Who's the master?" a grand total of 8 times.
8 times.
Throughout the film.
Wow.
8 times.
That's dedication?
Yeah.
To a catchphrase?
It's such a memorable line.
It is.
It's become synonymous with Sho'Nuff's character.
It has.
It's one of those lines that instantly transports you back to the film. Back to that moment of over-the-top, glorious 80s cheese. Okay, one last bit of trivia before we wrap things up. The legendary Motown artist, Smokey Robinson, almost had a cameo in the film.
What?
But couldn't make it. Due to scheduling conflicts.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine?
That would have been amazing.
The musical number they could have created for Smokey. It would have been epic. But hey, even without Smokey, the soundtrack is still pretty amazing.
It is.
Departure's Rhythm of the Night
Okay.
became a massive hit
Yeah.
and is still a dance floor classic today.
It's true.
The music is just such a vital part
Yeah.
of what makes The Last Dragon so unique.
Yeah.
It's not just background music. It's integrated into the story, the characters,
Yeah.
even the fight scenes. It's part of the film's DNA.
It's a testament to Motown's influence.
Yeah.
They knew the power of music. They used it to create a world that was captivating, both visually and sonically.
It's one of the things that sets The Last Dragon apart from other martial arts films of the era. So we've explored the cultural impact of The Last Dragon, its influence on other films, the unforgettable characters, and even some fun behind-the-scenes trivia. But I think it's important to step back for a moment and ask, why does this film continue to resonate with audiences today, nearly 40 years after its release?
That is a great question. I think it's because The Last Dragon offers something for everyone. It's got action, humor, music, romance, and a timeless message of self-discovery and empowerment.
And it does all of that with this sense of style and swagger that's uniquely its own.
Yeah.
It's a film that embraces its quirks and imperfections, and that's part of its charm. It's not afraid to be a little cheesy, a little over the top, and a lot of fun.
Exactly.
And in a world that often takes itself too seriously, that's a refreshing change of pace.
It is.
The Last Dragon reminds us that it's okay to let loose, to embrace the ridiculous, and to find joy in the unexpected.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most unlikely combinations can create something truly special.
A martial arts film produced by Motown, it shouldn't work, but it does.
But it does.
And it does it brilliantly.
That's the beauty of it. It defies expectations. It delivers a cinematic experience that's both entertaining and thought-provoking. It's a film that stays with you.
It definitely does. Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into The Last Dragon, let's take a moment to consider one final question. We've talked about all the things that make The Last Dragon so special, but what about you? What resonates most with you in this film?
What sticks with you? What makes The Last Dragon more than just a fun 80s movie?
Yeah. Is it the high-kicking martial arts action? The infectious Motown soundtrack? The quest for self-discovery? Or the unforgettable characters like Sho'Nuff?
What speaks to you on a personal level?
Yeah, it's fascinating how a film can have so many layers, isn't it?
It really is.
We can enjoy it for its pure entertainment value.
Yeah.
But there's also this depth, this richness that invites us to think about bigger themes and ideas.
Exactly. That's the mark of a truly great film, one that can entertain us and engage us on multiple levels.
It can be a fun escape.
Yeah.
But it can also spark conversations,
Right.
make us think about ourselves and the world around us.
The Last Dragon does that.
It does. It invites us to find our own glow, to embrace our individuality, and to never give up on our dreams, even when the odds are stacked against us.
And it reminds us that even in a world that can sometimes feel dark and cynical, there's always room for a little bit of magic, a little bit of joy, and a lot of heart.
Beautifully said. So the next time you're looking for a movie that's fun, inspiring, and a little bit different, give The Last Dragon another watch. You might just find yourself seeing it in a whole new light.
And be sure to share your thoughts with us. We'd love to hear what resonates with you most about this cult classic. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those deep dives going.